Hi everyone, my name is Lisa Mona. I'm one of the certified fitness professionals here at GOFitnessVirtual.com. Today we're going to take a closer look at how to perform a squat properly and some of the common mistakes that we see on that weight room floor. So squats are a really important exercise, especially as we get older, because it's a compound movement where we're using so many of the muscle groups that we would use in our daily activities, such as getting in and out of a car or in and out of a chair, or either on and off of a toilet seat. So squats definitely rank high in our exercises that we want you to be experiencing on a weekly basis. So it's really important that you know how to do those exercises properly. So let's go ahead and start with our squat right off. We want to start with our feet at least hip distance apart or slightly wider than that. When we're in that stance, we're going to put the focus into our quads. When we go out even wider, we'll put our focus into our quads, but also into our glutes and our outer hips. So that's one of the reasons why we perform a squat. It's a great strength training exercise for our quads, our hamstrings, our glutes, but also our inner and outer thighs, and if we perform it correctly, even into our core muscles. So we want to start with our feet at least hip distance apart, toes turned out slightly, and we're in neutral spine. So our belly is braced, our chest is lifted, eyes are out on the horizon, and our chin is tucked in just a hair. We initiate the squat by sitting our hips down and back. So we want to drop our hips down to a 90-degree bend in our knees, so our hips will be just slightly above the knee line. When we go lower than a 90-degree bend in the knees, it puts an increasingly amount of compressive forces onto our knee joint. So it's safer if we can drop just to that 90-degree bend. But one of the common errors that I see is some people are going too low, potentially injuring their knee joint, and some people don't go low enough, so they're not getting the full benefit out of the squat. So we initiate the squat by sitting our hips down and back, but also back. So we don't want to allow our knees to come forward where the knees may shoot forward beyond the toes. We want to sit our hips back so that the knees come forward a little bit, but not beyond the toes. Because again, when our knees come forward of the toes, it puts a lot of compression onto the knee joint, and that's simply not safe for us to perform the squat properly. We also want to initiate the squat by having a neutral spine. So when we sit the hips down and back, we keep the spine in neutral. We don't want to roll forward through the upper back or into the lower back because that puts more compression onto our spinal disc. So we always want to be protective of our spine. Some people are able to perform a supposed squat by keeping neutral spine, but instead of sitting the hips down and back, they take the chest forward. This is actually called a good morning, and it does have some benefit in that it strengthens the erector muscles, the muscles that allow us to stand upright, but it doesn't do much for strengthening the lower half muscles. So when we're performing a squat, trying to increase the strength of the lower half muscles, we definitely want to sit the hips down and back and keep the chest lifted. Finally, it's important for us to squat keeping our knees tracking over the middle of our foot. Sometimes I'll see participants drop the knees inward or maybe roll the knees outward, and that basically is showing me that they're not engaging their inner thighs as well as their outer hips. So it's important that the knees come forward right over the center of their foot, specifically over the second and the third toe. So thank you so much for joining in today for our short on how to perform a squat properly. If you like the information, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And if you'd like to see more information from us, be sure to visit us at GOFitnessVirtual.com and take a look at our live classes as well as our extensive video library.